All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Sorry for the bit of the delay, but everything's a-okay. So, in case you missed us, which I'm pretty sure you might have, but that's okay. Things are looking pretty good for the Kung Fu Pandas right about now, as Razor Leaf is just kind of hard carrying in the game.
Yeah, Razor Leaf has this protection from this Lulu and is able to just shred apart their bot lane. And now 6-1, shield bow finish, starting on the wit's end. It's not looking good for okay.
Yeah, let's try to give them a little bit of the spark notes. So they tried to gank this bot lane a couple of times. It didn't really work out. Nothing really happening there. Young Mashu's just been able to farm up all game. Lian's been pretty good with the roaming. Not important and Go and have had their fair share of going at it. Nothing too crazy going on. The first dragon went the way of okay Infinite because he didn't get out. The second dragon will go the way of the Kung Fu Pandas. The 40-inch Tuna did get caught out there, but it looks like the rest of the team is actually going to get caught out. As Razor Leaf, he flash after the Ezreal. He's not going to be able to get into this fight. Now all of a sudden the rest of the team is cut off. Lian is going to have to do what they can to survive. Going over the wall, getting on top of Mischief. There's a couple kills going out all around. Elsif and Frozen is going to try to take over the fight, but he's going to be pushed away by Razor Leaf. It is a critical hit. It is super effective. All this damage coming out. Razor Leaf with the triple kill. Razor Leaf can't quite get the quadra kill. Never mind, I think they're just going to let him have it. He will get the quadra kill. It is a huge fight. So many deaths going on all over the place. Overall, a 4-for-3 in favor of the Kung Fu Pandas. Yeah, I think it might have been 5-for-3. I actually don't know if Oshi died early on in that fight. I think he did.
It's crazy to see that because Kung Fu Pandas, they weren't in the best position for that fight. Their team was really split up into two sections, right, with Razor Leaf and 40-inch Tuna being on one side of the wall and the rest of them being on the other. But once Razor Leaf was able to get in there and start sending off his damage, they just tore apart that team. Having a true 5v5 with this 10-2 Kog'Maw is going to be devastating.
And he just picked up his Wit's End and his Rage Knife. So the increased damage is going to be insane. I do want to point out that this guy, Razor Leaf, had an Immortal Shield Bow at 10 minutes. I think it was like 10 minutes and 33 seconds for the people at home watching that were not able to see that. So in a span of 8 minutes, he was able to get a Wit's End, Boots, and a Rage Knife, which is pretty impressive. As we see Lian really fighting over these chickens, Gon's going to have to flash away, and Razor Leaf just pumping out damage from afar, untouched, completely protected. And here comes the Rift Herald. This could be problematic.
So, yeah, as you were saying, the Razor Leaf just being able to get... He went from a Thorn Blade...
Alright, there we go.
Wow.
On to Villa Enders. Here comes Gon on the backline. It's a 4-man knockup. They're going to take out Not Important. Lian getting very low, but pumping out so much damage at the same time. However, 40-inch Tuna is down, so that is no protection for this Kog'Maw. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of okay Infinite.
Yeah, and you can see how scary this Kog'Maw is, because they were in a 4v3 situation after that, with the KO being so low, and they still didn't want to engage on that, because engaging on that is a death sentence.
Well, if they engage with the death sentence, it's a death sentence. Not important. I feel like they kind of bungled that fight a little bit. They had an option to hit a 3-man Cataclysm, opted for the 1 because they were split up from the team, but the turret hadn't gone down yet. So there was a little bit of, had to be a little bit of focus on that mid turret. And you know, if they just waited a little bit longer, maybe that fight goes a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe, and just the Urgot ulti with the execute is so good in team fights. Really, none of the fears got off, which is what I love about that Urgot ulti.
So good.
If you're in the middle of their backline and you fear all of them, it is so great. But just being able to get that execute down is also really good potential, and that's what got them out with that 2-for-1.
We will see if this team will be able to scale up. It's about an 8k gold deficit, call it 7.5. And Razor Leaf is only going to get bigger. And now Young Mashu finally has some kills on the board. They've got their Riftmaker. They've got their Gnasher's Tooth. You know, now all of a sudden you've got to deal with a really scary Kale. Mind you, that Kale with the Divine Intervention can make somebody invulnerable as well. Use it on themselves, use it on Razor Leaf, and you know, and never mind the fact that Lian is also putting in a lot of damage as well. This is a true 3-threat team right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the ability to keep that Kog'Maw alive is what we were talking about right in Champ Select. is now coming to fruition with the Kale, with the Lulu, having Shield Bow and Wit's End. This Kog'Maw is going to be unkillable in fights. You can get in on him on the back line. You can send the Zac, you can send the Galio, but actually killing the Kog'Maw is going to be so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, Gon has opted for a bit of a tanky build here. Kind of have to, right? You know, with Razor Leaf and Young Mashu just absolutely shredding health bars. But, I mean, Gon is the strongest member of the team right now. There's an opportunity to get onto Razor Leaf. It's a good flash by 40-inch Tuna. 40-inch Tuna is going to get knocked into a minion. Here comes the teleport behind them. Razor Leaf, though, just beating on this team right now. Galio comes in, hits a big knockup, a two-man taunt as well. He's pulled into the rest of the team. Gon is trying to disrupt the back line here. Hook onto Lian. Lian getting flayed into the turret. Razor Leaf finding one kill. Elsa from Frozen is going to find not important, but down goes Mischief. Oshi with a big hook, but the cleanse is nigh instant. Villa Enders goes down as well. Great play there from Razor Leaf to get out of there. He's going to take a lot of turret shots for his trouble, but is going to pop that Immortal Shield Bow. He finds himself a triple kill in the fight. Hook on the Young Mashu, but I'm not sure there's too much you can do. Elsa from Frozen, what are you doing? There's a fourth kill for the Kog'Maw. Oshi with the flash flay onto Young Mashu, but they're just going to be able to walk out, and everything's a-okay. It's a 5-for-1, and the turrets are being taken down. Razor Leaf just does way too much damage right now. A late-game Kog'Maw at only 22 minutes has ripped apart, Infinite. Gon trying to do what they can to stop the Nexus from going down, but they will be unable to as the Kung Fu Pandas roll for a Game 1 victory. So pretty solid game for the boys there as the Kung Fu Pandas, they take game 1 pretty convincing fashion. Razor Leaf looking incredibly impressive. I'll tell you, just take a look at that damage chart. Like, you don't even need to see the numbers. You can just see there is definitely an outlier in this game. I'm pretty sure it's the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about right before the game started what Kung Fu Panda needed, what they had to do. They had to protect this Kog'Maw, and they had to scale. And that's exactly what they did. They protected the Kog'Maw. They kept him scaling in that lane. I mean, 10-minute shield bow is still blows my mind that he was able to do that.
It's absurd. It's a 3,400 gold item.
The man went from a Doran's blade, backed, and had a shield bow.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, like, he backed, and then he was full health and mana, and he just kind of stood there for a second. I was like, uh-oh. That seems like it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. Razor Leaf really just the absolute outlier, the hero of Kung Fu Pandas that game.
Listen,
great game by him.
There's a reason why Razor Leaf is the strongest grass move in Pokemon history. Now, sure, I might be biased. I really like me some Razor Leaf. It's got its high critical hit ratio and everything. There's certainly quite, some people might say it's a Leaf Blade, but Razor Leaf was the OG. Although I did think it had like a 5% chance to miss, which made it kind of rough. But it's just always going to crit every single time. And he would have crit. However, he brought a Rage Knife with him. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to crit.
Yeah, it might have a 5% miss rate, but this game falls in the 95 percentile where he did not miss.
Yeah, you're totally right. Actually, come to think of it, his Bio Arcane Barrages, I don't think he really missed many of them, if any of them, to be honest with you. He didn't really have to use it too much, honestly. He's just getting buffed up, running forward, and just like puking on people and dealing a bunch of damage. It really isn't that what everybody wants to do in life? Just puke on people and deal a bunch of damage.
I mean,
Just
it's my dream.
That's your dream? That's good. Well, we can discuss a little bit more dreams as we head into the break. Apologies for the technical difficulties for game one, but hopefully for game two, we won't have any problems moving forward. So please stick around and we will talk to you soon. everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. Sorry about all the delays and everything like that, but we are back and we should be starting the pro draft quite shortly right now. So we're just waiting to get into it. I am still Yanni. I'm still here with Zane as the bands have finally begun. Team switching sides this time around. Yeah, okay, Infinite on your blue side and Kung Fu Pandas on the red side. Hovering that Lulu. Wouldn't be too surprising to see that one off the board, and it is.
Yeah, so Lulu was the first pick for Kung Fu Pandas last time. Now that they're on blue side, Yo Infinite doesn't want it. They're going to ban it away. And Alistar, and it looks like Rise coming out for bans.
Pretty standard as well. They were bans from the last game. The Kung Fu Pandas elected to take out Alistar, Riven, and Vel'Koz in the first three. And it's looking pretty similar. No real changes for the... okay Infinite here other than that Lulu. That does mean that Vayne is on the table, so if they don't first pick that away, that's going to go to the side of the Kung Fu Pandas, and Razor Leaf plays their fair share of Vayne. Mischief does as well. I'd be interested to see if that was the first pick here, which it looks like it is, so very smart drafting on their part.
Yep, take away that Lulu, be able to first pick that Vayne so you don't need that as a ban. And Samira coming out, very aggressive, very team fight heavy ADC. I like this, the ADC picks.
Yeah, it seems like things are looking pretty solid. I like what the Kung Fu Pandas are doing. They're doing something very similar to last game. They're going to pair a very strong AD carry with a Enchanter support, this time in the form of Tarek. And Cosmic Radiance will be very problematic in team fights. We saw the Kung Fu Pandas didn't really have any issues with team fights during the last game, so I don't anticipate things would change. So just drafting to their strengths, and that's really what every team needs to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And their strengths for last game were very obviously Razor Leaf on that Kog'Maw. And to be able to put him on the Samira, they took the Lulu away, so that makes the Kog'Maw quite a bit weaker. But Samira Tarek still just a dominant lane.
Alright, so, yeah, okay, Infinite, they opted for Leona Rek'Sai here. This team is taking a very interesting shape. Leona Vayne pairing, I mean, it's really strong when you lock them down. If they're right near a wall, Vayne can just tumble, get the angle on with the tumble, and then hit the wall condemn, and you've done a metric ton of damage. I don't know how often they're going to be able to get that combo off against Samira Tarek. And I don't know. I don't know about this one. I would have liked to see Vayne paired with like a bit of a more enabler support for them. Maybe like a Karma or something like that. But
yeah,
I mean, when Lulu's already the best one off the table, it doesn't really matter too much. Xin Zhao, one of the strongest junglers in the game right now, is going to be going the way of the Kung Fu Pandas as they finish off their first half of the draft. And it's pretty nice first half for both of these teams. Looks like they're getting the strategies that they want to get done. And Aatrox's the first ban of Phase 2.
Yeah, I like Kung Fu Panda's draft so far. They have a lot of disengage. If they don't want to take a fight, they're not going to take a fight. They have Tarek, they have the Xin Zhao, they have the Samir Spell Shield. It's a lot of disengage that they can use to just get away from a fight that they don't want to take, which is so good when they're having a Leona.
The Kung Fu Pandas, with their exact same bans as the last game, meanwhile, on the other side, yeah, okay, Infinite, they have also banned the Tristana and the Diana this time around. Or, I'm sorry, Tristana and the Set. They banned Diana last time around. So, a little bit of adaptations in the ban phase. They opted to get rid of Set and Lulu, which were two very problematic champions for them last game. So, I do like what they're doing here. They get rid of the Tristana for the potential play for the mid lane. Don't think it was going to go that way, but, you know, it's always something that can be pulled out. Renekton the pick here for the Kung Fu Pandas, so it looks like they are locking themselves into a magic damage dealing mid for their last pick. They will have to counter pick, a very potent tool when drafting.
Yeah, I really like the idea of a control mage for Kung Fu Pandas here. Put him on the Rise, put him on the Malzahar, some really heavy control mage to just round out this comp. And Urgot coming through for Yoke Infinite again.
Once again, that Urgot was definitely made some waves in the last game, but not as much as you would have liked. Although, you know, when the team goes down pretty hard early, you know, and Urgot doesn't have the time to get to that unkillable point that we talked about in the last game, you know, there's not too much that can be done. It's like they're hovering Azir here, and they've opted into the Azir, a very safe pick. The Kung Fu Pandas, they're gonna have a hard time trying to get advantages through the mid lane, straight up 1v1s, unless they're able to pick something that can get on top of Azir pretty easily. Diana is open for that. Not sure if the mid laner Young Mashu plays Diana. That is always an option, however. But overall, the team of OK Infinite's looking pretty decent right now. You've got your meaty front line of Rek'Sai, Urgot, Leona, and Azir Vayne get to just chill out on the back line. It looks like the last pick is this Twisted Fate. All right, so not looking to make waves happen in the lane, but looking to make an impact on the sidelines.
It's looking like in the chat for the lobby, they're saying TF was supposed to be Malzahar.
All right, so it is Malzahar, which is a shame because I kind of like the TF pick. But you were correct in terms of the Malzahar. You mentioned that that's exactly what you wanted to see. Tell me a little bit about how Malzahar fits into this team comp. How do you see it working out?
So, especially into Azir, I like the Malzahar because they've kind of conceded the, I can't all in this Azir, I want to just be able to farm up, and we take an even in the mid. There's not going to be much action going on. Both of these control mages are going to be farming, and then late game is where their power spikes really come in, with the Malzahar being able to lock someone down. Like this Leona in the backline. If Leona jumps into this backline, with Malzahar having his spell shield, the ability to just lock her down, stop this engage from Leona, stop this engage from the Rek'Sai, or even just to get on the Vayne if it's possible. Likely not, but control mages are very good to just round out an even team comp. Nothing too flashy, really. It's just a good pick all around.
The one problem I do foresee with that, though, is let's say you lock down one member of this team that isn't named Vayne, because obviously if you lock down the Vayne's probably dying.
Yeah.
The Azir is probably too far away to lock down. If you lock them down, they're probably dying as well. If you lock down any of these frontliners, everybody on the opposing team of OK Infinite has the ability to break the Nether Grasp, right? So, like, if the Leona does go in and gets locked down, Azir can come in and stream a shuffle. All of a sudden, Leona's A-OK, has the rest of her abilities to use. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai and Urgot are running rampant over the fight. If you use it on Rek'Sai, then Leona can go in and disrupt it. You use it on Urgot, and everybody else is going to hop in and disrupt here. I think that the Malzahar is pretty solid because they're insulated from ganks in the mid lane. Probably not ganking too much for the Azir until you hit post 6. And even then at this point, Rek'Sai maybe hitting a Prey Seeker, popping the shield, and then Azir going in and scooping Malzahar back to the middle part of the lane can work out. Very difficult to execute. I wouldn't expect it to be executed at a level like this properly, which is fine and understandable. So it looks like that lane might just be a wash and might be the far best that you expect to see.
Yeah, and that's exactly what most control mage comps are. It's just you're gonna farm until you're big enough to teamfight. And it's what I personally like to see in mid. I'm a Power of Evil fan. He's the control mage man. So seeing more control mages is always nice to see.
I do think that OK Infinite fell into a trap this game. And they've opted to play for the long game, and you're kind of shoehorned into that when you pick a Vayne first.
Yeah.
But now you've gone with Urgot, who again really hits his spike around levels 13 to 15 and onward. Azir, who's stronger much later into the game. Against Samira, who once she hits level 6 and is able to get off an Inferno trigger, is incredibly strong. Xin Zhao, the best early game jungler in the game right now, depending on who you ask, but is considered to be one of the top ones. And Renekton, who does quite a bit in early game as well. I think they kind of fell in the trap of we're going to play the scaling team, and now they're running into a really early game team comp. And if the Kung Fu Pandas get really far ahead early on, OK Infinite may not be able to have the time to be able to scale into the game, and they might just get stomped out before they're able to do that. And I think by picking that Azir, they fell into that trap instead of picking something a little bit more early game oriented or something roam oriented. Unless he gets off plenty of roams, but I mean, heck, a Twisted Fate would have been really cool there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. A big part of, like I said at the start, Kung Fu Panda's comp is that disengage, and even when OK Infinite gets to that late game, gets to their scaling, the disengage from Kung Fu Panda is incredible. Their ability to just, I don't want to take this team fight, so I'm not taking it. And Yo, okay, Infinite really doesn't have. They have a lot of engage. They have Leona, they have the Urgot, they have the Azir ulti. But I think the disengage from Kung Fu Panda is just better enough to where Kung Fu Panda only takes fights when they want to take fights.
Exactly, and even if, yeah, okay, Infinite manages to get that engagement that they really want, the Cosmic Radiance from the Terra can make any likely 3 to 4 members of the team invulnerable all of a sudden. And, you know, Kung Fu Panda does have the innate ability for their team comp to be able to pick off the people that they want to pick off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, we will have to see how these team comps play out. It's a heavy team fighting composition that wants to get to the late game versus the early game pick you off, brawl with you team comp. We will head to a short break while we are waiting for spectator delay. So don't go anywhere, as hopefully we will have a stream that is all smooth and ready to go for you once we get back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting. Hopefully you have a screen in front of you that has 5 champions on the red side and 5 champions on the blue side. This Premade Unstoppable Week 5, Kung Fu Pandas and yeah, okay, Infinite. Kung Fu Pandas took game 1 on the blue side, but now they are swapped around onto the red side. The teams, the lineup's totally the same. It does look like Lien is going to the top lane this time around, so they will get their matchup with Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah, I like this. Summoner spells look normal around the board. Master Race look normal around the board. Nothing too crazy is going on. All of them are in 5-point. Tarek and Samira having a little fun in the jungle.
One of these days, I want to see a team get punished by doing that. Like, come on. What's this? What are you doing here? What are we doing here? Just sitting in the jungle? Meanwhile, the other team's actually, you know, with the 5-point, they've practiced this. They're ready to go. Man, I can't. I gotta vent real quick. I can't stand when I'm playing solo queue and somebody like will follow me around consistently. I'll normally play AD carry or I've been playing support a lot recently, but like I'll go to like one of the 5-point spots and the AD carry follows me, so I'll go up to the spot above that and they'll follow me there. It's like, no, stay there.
Oh, you don't like having your little Pokemon come with you?
No, I don't like it when the rest of the Pokemon on the other team come through and gank me. I got You're just a glorified ward at level 1. Everybody is. Getting back to the game, pretty standard starts for both sides.
Yeah, level 1 starts for the junglers, both on the bot side of the map. They're going to be pathing up to the top side. Maybe see a little scuffle by that Scuttle Crab. Otherwise, pretty normal start for everyone. Oh, Tarek, seeing if you can try to get something going there, but nothing really.
For level 1, no?
A little, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Get that early game poke in. Renekton doing work, trying to do the same thing. With his ability to just sustain and lane, especially with Conqueror, he can just poke out that Urga all day long.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have too many problems over there, especially with that with the Call the Meek when you got the Fury bonus healing up for a lot. So, you know, even though it seemed like he took a bad trade early on, you know, he's up in CS and he's pretty relatively healthy.
Yeah, and he can take those bad trades with his frenzy and his Q. Him being able to take bad trades and then just heal off the wave or heal off the champion, his enemy opponent. It just lets him take some pretty aggressive trades that on any other champion, it's going to be kind of like City.
A lot of fighting. We get sent to the top lane and they're both stunned. So, you know, the game decided that, hey, you want to go up here? Exciting things are going to happen. And they just stood next to each other for about a second and a half. But Lien getting the better end of that trade. We do see Gon here in the top lane. Has been spotted out. Lien put down that early ward. And now cleared out by Gon. But that's why you ward early, everybody. You don't want to be that top laner that doesn't ward early and then dies. It's not important. Looks for an engagement on the Gon. Lien is nearby. Scuttle Crab looks like it was secured by Not Important as Gon once again smiting early. He has not won many smite fights against Not Important today. And it's really tough to lose that sort of vision. Especially since your top side is already struggling. It makes it a lot harder to come back around the top.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about with them both starting on the bot side of the map. They're both going to path the same way. They're both going to get to the Scuttle Crab about the same time. Normally, blue side gets the Scuttle Crab just a little bit earlier than red side. But once red side comes in, the fight starts. And it's all down to either smite or killing your jungling opponent. And it looks like Not Important just going to go down and double grab him, which always feels really great as a jungler to be able to just get both grabs. And get all of that vision, all that gold.
I mean, your bot lane's so far ahead that you really get to take that crab with impunity at this point. And you get to poke around in the enemy jungle and see what's going on. Rek'Sai is up in the top lane, has been pinged out as the Prey Seeker did come out. And alerted Renekton to going being in the area.
We have an assist pings on the Raptor cannon. They know he's there, they know he's taking it. Both the Villa and Gon are both walking down to try to see if they can catch him out.
Yeah, young Mashu really nowhere to be seen here. Not Important is going to take a fair bit of damage, but is going to be able to get out of there just fine. Wasting a little bit of time out of Villa Enders, but would have liked to be able to secure that with no issues at all. Now things get a little awkward for Not Important. Nowhere really to go right now, so I guess best to just go back in their jungle, right?
Yeah, go back to your jungle, farm up, try to get enough gold to get yourself an early item. Something that you can scale up and get this early dragon, which is what I think the focus of them should be coming through here.
Looks like Razor Leaf and 40-inch Tuna know exactly what they want to do. Get the stun, get in, deal a couple autos worth of damage, get out. The ward just expired. I don't think they spotted Gone either. It doesn't look like they're ready for him at all. And here he comes. The engagement onto Razor Leaf. Razor Leaf getting stunned. Teleports from both sides coming out. Ignite ticking away onto Razor Leaf. Mischief flashing forward for it. But now First Blood goes over to Lien. Lien in a little bit of trouble. It's a 3-man stun by 40-inch Tuna, but they found Razor Leaf. Elsa from Frozen is going to find the kill there. Lien trying to do what they can to sustain. They find 1. They find 2. They find 3! A triple kill in the bottom lane for Lien.
Absolutely insane amount of healing coming out from that Renekton there. He was almost dead, that close. Q came up, he had full Fury Bar, just heals off of all 3 of them, and he's able to stay through that fight, get that triple kill. Really good plays coming out from KFP.
That was crazy. Great teleports from Lien. Was a little late to the party, but was apparently just right on time there if they find 3 kills for themselves. Razor Leaf did go down there, does get 2 assists for themselves, so you'll take that in terms of gold, even though they're down summoners. But now this Renekton has become problematic. They've got their Iron Spike Whip. They've got their plated steel caps. I almost said steel-toe boots for a second. Thought they had their Tims on, you know?
They're ninja tabbies.
Yeah, but they're just so strong right now. Also from Frozen doing what they can to try to poke them out, but I mean, with the Dominus down, I think they're safe for now. It's not important. It's just able to walk up onto Villa Enders. The Nether Grasp is so strong. Villa Enders flashing, but can't do anything there. Here comes going to the top lane. There's a fatty shutdown, and they want it. The Fear Beyond Death, 700 gold going over to Elsa from Frozen. Chained him up and just wouldn't let him go.
Yeah, that's a big thing about that. Elsa from Frozen, when they had the TP play down the bot lane, he didn't have ultimate yet. He was still level 5. So Lien uses his ultimate, uses that to get that extra pressure on the bot lane and get that triple kill. Now Elsa from Frozen is 6. Lien doesn't have 6. They're able to just catch him out, kill him with that ability advantage.
The dragon, solo dragon, taken by not important, as he will end up with his 3rd Scuttle Crab of the game as well. A triple Scuttle jungler. Not the fabled double Scuttle we see happen from time to time. First Drake was the Wind Drake, so they're going to get a little bit of ultimate cooldown there. It's always nice to see, especially with some impactful ultimates across the board. Next dragon will be that Ocean Dragon, so we're either going to have a Mountain or an Infernal Soul. That'll be pretty exciting.
And both of these... Yeah, both of these souls are really good for both team comps here. I like Mountain a lot better for Yoke Infinite, and I like Infernal a lot better for KFP. Personally, that's just how I see the comps turning out and using those souls to their advantage.
Well, the good news is either of those souls are super strong anyway. Like, you're just happy to have them no matter what team you're on or what your composition looks like. More damage and more tankiness is always good. You did see that Gone was spotted out in the bot lane, had to go away. Not important is here near the alcove bush. There's a ward in the near brush, so they will spot him out as he walks into it. He'll immediately back up and play it safe. Both of these bot laners, Mischief and Oshi, are level 6. Everybody level 6 in this bot lane. Not important. Did cancel the recall, so just wasting a lot of time here as Gone has started up on the Rift Herald in response.
Yeah, he has been in that... Oh, and he's still there.
Oh,
he's been in that bot lane bush for so long. He has to know it's warded.
Right? Like, what? He's going to do it again.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to do it again. Oshi and Mischief keep baiting him. Like, Oshi will step up a little bit farther than he thinks. He's like, oh, he's going to go in this time. And that's really good timing by Oshi, by the way. You know, the recall's about to end. So he steps up and he's like, all right. You know, maybe I can get him to cancel the recall. He canceled, what, 3 recalls there? That's 21 seconds of not doing anything.
It was absolutely great plays by Oshi, just to be able to, like you said, make him cancel his recall and give Dawn enough time to be able to take that Rift Herald for completely free. And now they're dropping it top lane and try to use that advantage to get some gold plating for Urgot here.
so much gold going to that Urgot right there. This turret very close to going down, but will not go down yet. Also from Frozen doing what they can to try to turn this matchup into their advantage. Still down by quite a bit in terms of CS, but they're actually up in gold after the plates. They're actually about dead even right now.
Yeah, gold.
Quite surprising after the start that we ended.
Absolutely. Even with him being up so much falling, he's up 3 kills, or 2 kills rather. But all of that turret play.
Again, Villa Ender is just not properly warding. No wards. Look at the lack of vision there. As you know, young Mashu is just gonna be able to flash on you, hit you with another gas. When his jungler is gonna show up, you have to ward a little bit deeper and know that something like that can happen. Because you know, once you get locked up by that nether grass, you have nowhere to go. Azir is not a very tanky champion. So, pretty rough stuff for the mid laner of, okay, Infinite. Let's see if they're able to clean it up a little bit and maybe get some more vision down. But it's not what you like to see right now, especially if you're this Urgot. The rest of the team just kind of falling apart around you.
Yeah, absolutely. But the counterplay for that is very little. To be able to stop the young Moshu from being able to just walk up and ult you. It's all about vision. Like you said, putting wards in the bush, having to know when not important, coming around so that you can stop them. And just back away.
Never mind the fact that QSS tax is going to be strong in this game. Lots of CC coming out from Mahar. You see an engagement here. Here comes the Cosmic Radiance. He's going to get all 3 members, so Mischief and Ignite burning the play. They feel that the last auto attack is there. Here comes the teleport from the mid laner as the Inferno is going to do so much damage to the Razor Leaf. Got caught under the turret and taken down. Couple of turret shots on the 40-inch tuna as he goes pretty low. But here comes the Urgot from behind as Gone looking to find an engagement. Here comes the Fear Beyond Death. It's going to land a double Fear. So much damage going out. Not important, super low. But here is Lien. Can he be the savior? He will force Elsa from Frozen away. The flash burn as well. Lien looking for blood. The engagement. He slices. He dices. He finds another one. His 5th of the game.
There is so much action, and there it is, the 4th out of 4 teleports.
Villa is here for it. Trying to make a play happen, trying to poke away, not important. Here comes Mischief. Lien is going to land the stun. The engagement onto him, the Shurima, more like a Shurima scuffle there, as Villa Enders goes down pretty much for free. Mischief had no way of getting into that fight, and this Villa Enders is having a very rough game.
Yeah, I can see where Villanda's idea was. He saw them both around half health. He had the ultimate up to be able to do something. But really, once they get out of vision there... Oh? Nothing's gonna come of it. Once they get out of vision there, there's really nothing that you can do. And him walking in, trying to face check that bush, really just got him killed.
And you know, with the late back out of Lien, and Razor Leaf and 40-inch Tuna heading to the top lane. This dragon looks like it's pretty ripe for the picking for you, okay, Infinite. As it looks like Gone has started it up, but not important is on the way. The advantage, the numbers advantage is certainly with okay, Infinite, but I don't really know if they can win a fight right now.
At the end of the day, I somewhat don't mind the dragon going over to okay, Infinite for KFP. Them being able to just...
Well, I mean, you'll take that. You'll take the break for that, especially since you're far behind right now. Obviously the gold doesn't match up. They're gonna get quite a bit of gold out of you for that kill. You are gonna be able to delay souls. If you see a stun onto Lien getting locked up in those. A very interesting interaction, but goes right on top of Mischief, gets a kill for themselves, and now they're looking for Oshi. Oshi, Shield of Daybreak, trying to keep Renekton off of him, but Renekton knows he's got no mana left. Slicing and dicing and healing so much. He autoed the turret though!
Oh!
Big shutdown for Oshi there. 3rd kill of the game for the support Leona, tied for the team lead. But not important, from behind, Villa Enders will use that Azir ultimate, Emperor's Divide, to keep himself a little safe, but you can't really stick around here. They're just going to re-engage on you. They're going to make a play here, knocking up Not Important, trying to get as much damage as possible down, but young Mashu's damage, along with Not Important, is just way too much for Gone to handle. Now Razor Leaf and 40-inch shooter, they've gone invulnerable. Inferno Trigger out, but just doesn't do a whole lot of damage at this point in the game. Razor Leaf does have that shield bow, a little bit later than last game, I might add, but can't really do all too much to Elsa, from Frozen specifically.
And this game so far has just been absolutely bloody, and that's exactly how they wanted it to go. KFT wanted this game to be bloody. They have the early game pressure.
Tuna, save him! No, they couldn't save the 40-inch Tuna. Yeah, Razor Leaf very low, but does get bailed out by not important showing up, taking that one up. And it looks like the top tower will be Kung Fu's for the taking. They're going to be up about 6,000 gold after all is said and done. As in the end, trying to find engagement onto Oshi, but realized they didn't want anything, as Mischief was around to cause some mischief. So, if you're AOK Infinite, what are you doing? How are you getting back into this game? I mean, the scaling is there.
So right now you just have to stop the hemorrhaging. It is 16-7. All of these fights that you guys are taking, it has to stop. Because this fight right here, again, you're not going to be able to win that against a Renekton. I understand the Vayne with her damage into tanks is very good, but this Renekton is 7-2, and he will be able to tear apart that bot lane as he's done before. This is exactly what KFP wanted. They had this early game scaling comp. And OK Infinite chose to go for the late game. So KFP just takes as many fights as they can, and they're winning them because of this early game comp.
Yeah, and really, if you fall too far behind, you know, there's no point in the late game scaling. You just won't get there.
Exactly. KFP just has to keep taking these fights while they're still stronger. Continue to scale, and then just end out this game before OK Infinite has any chance of coming back.
Alright, I wanted to talk about the choice in Mythic for Mischief, as they did opt for the Kraken Slayer, which is the traditional choice. However, I think, based on the team they're playing against, Immortal Shield Bow might have been better. Your thoughts?
So I can see where you're coming from with the Immortal Shield Bow. Like an Immortal Shield Bow Wit's End, it would be a good... Oh, another team fight.
40-inch Tuna, as Mischief has been caught out. They're getting very low. You Elsa from Frozen being chased down, but we'll be able to blast plant to safety. So, you know, the Kung Fu Pandas will drive OK Infinite out of the bot side of their jungle and take full control of the map.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think I like Kraken Slayer better here in this situation. You're gonna need that damage late game, and you taking Immortal Shield Bow and taking Wit's End is kind of accepting that we have to play this more passive, and I have to build a more defensive build, which sometimes is the right answer, but in this situation, it's about all you can do. There is not a single chance to talk in this game. Just fight after fight.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Villa Enders maybe gotten themselves caught out by accidentally moving up a little bit too far. As you see, a fight breaking out here as Gone gets caught out. And now 3 members of the side of the Kung Fu Pandas have gone invulnerable. The Inferno Trigger is out, dealing as much damage as possible. Razor Leaf caught on the other side of that Emperor's Divide, but everybody manages to find their way out. Flashes and blast plants. Young Mashu will find a kill. Everybody going down. Razor Leaf, Inferno triggering around their second of the team fight. It is a 5-0 in favor of the Kung Fu Pandas as they wait for minions to try to knock down this turret.
Death timers aren't very high on the side of the OK Infinite, so they're going to be up. They're going to be able to stop them from actually taking the entire base. But this is an inhib at least. A free dragon. Oh, they're gonna leave the inhib. But it is a free dragon.
Probably for the best to leave the inhib, you know, as there's been a lot of, it's a hot topic of debate amongst the League community if you take the inhibitor or you leave the inhibitor up. At this point in time, I think they're pretty safe to leave the inhibitor up. They're up 11k gold. They're gonna get another dragon. There's no reason to kind of sacrifice looking to farm up through the mid lane, especially, you know, Mischief and Villa Enders, our own champions that would get a huge boon from being able to just farm up with impunity. So,
yeah, So yeah, taking down that inhibitor funnels minions into your base where you don't have to leave base, you don't have to go anyplace dangerous because the super minions just push into you automatically. So that's free gold coming to you, funneled directly into your carries. So I definitely see where you're coming from, and I like this play from KFB, not taking it.
Yeah, I think LCS Legend Freak had a video on it the other day. I watched it. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was certainly made a strong, compelling case for not doing that.
And now it's not much going on. Yeah, okay, Infinite really just they can't leave their base. They can't go anywhere. Because if they do, they're gonna get caught out.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they're able to take this blue buff, but it looks like, you know, they've sent 2 members into the bot lane to try to knock down that bot lane turret. They're gonna force Elsa from Frozen down there. I'd like to see a TP versus TP matchup down here, so they're able to just continue to push with impunity and teleport over if the fight breaks out. They're looking to catch Mischief there, but a flash burnt by that Vayne is going to be very problematic for the next fight. There's just so many members that can get on top of Mischief so easily, and without that summoner, it's going to be rough.
All the members of KFC are kind of focusing around this mid lane, making sure it's pushing in, and now they're walking back to this Baron to try to either bait it out or just take it straight up.
It's time.
The Baron's
time. Well, it doesn't look like that. Yeah, okay, Infinite is too interested in trying to stop this. I mean, there's really not too much you can do anyway, but I feel like when you're down this far, like throwing your body at it, maybe trying to get a steal out of it, like I want to see going with his ultimate or something like that to try to get closer, to maybe try to smite steal here. You know, every smite is 900 HP now as opposed to scaling off of level, so I think it was worth the 50-50 shot. What's one more death at this point when they have Baron? It's not like being 5v5 is going to help you when they're pushing down with all of these Baroned up minions and up 12.5k. It's not going to matter too much. So I would have liked to see at least an attempt. Sometimes you just got to go for it. You know, playing for KD when you're 0-5-3 is not the move.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from with trying to just hold on to this game and give the Baron, and you just hold on for a little bit longer, try to get the scaling from the Vayne to come through, but now that Baron buff minions are coming in, they're breaking down the base. There's no time left to scale.
Yeah, and who's gonna fight Lien, by the way? You know, right now they just get to push in. They've gotten a minimal amount of damage on that top lane inhibitor turret, but now Lien was funneling minions on the other side. And now, you know, there's no turret here. It's not important. He's going in. He's gonna take a lot of damage for his trouble. Right to about half HP. No stuns landed, and no engagements to be had. As young Mashu not with the team, but again, yeah, Infinity content to just clear out the waves. They do lose an inhibitor, so there's more pressure that they have to deal with.
Yeah, and now this wave's coming in with the super minions and the Baron buff. It's going to be so difficult for them to be able to clear this in time without getting engaged on. And the BM coming from 40-inch Tuna, knowing how far ahead they are, just knowing that this game is all but over unless some crazy things come out from Yaoke Infinite.
Engagement under not important, but Oshi gets knocked into young Mashu. Here comes the teleport coming in from Mr. Necton. He is here, the suppression on the two from Leones. Leones hopped on top of the backline. Mischief is so low, just trying to cut out a play here. Going in the middle of the team, but now everybody's invulnerable thanks to Tarek. That is a 1-for-0 as the push continues.
That fight went a lot better for your
Pushing to the side? Yeah, are they caught here? It's a lot of damage going on to Elsa from Frozen. They've got nowhere to go. As Villa Enders try as they might with the Emperor's Divide, there was nothing they could do. Razor Leaf's Inferno Trigger gets canceled by Mischief. They took exception to that and killed Vayne with prejudice. Oshi trying to run away and bait the rest of the team into chasing him. The young Mashu and Razor Leaf, they got good heads on their shoulders, and they are working on these Nexus turrets.
Yeah, forget what I said about Yaoke Infinite going okay. The fight went better at first for them, but then the engage coming out, they just didn't have it.
Big shutdown on the Gone, but now Razor Leaf with the Inferno Trigger. They went after young Mashu, not after Razor Leaf. That is going to be 2 kills for them. Here comes Villa Enders trying to do what they can, baiting Razor Leaf in the end. Here's Elsa from Frozen. Here is Mischief. The turret coming up. It's not going to really do too much as you can just ignore that turret. Razor Leaf super low, but will be able to take out the Nexus. Very strong 2 games showing from the Kung Fu Pandas.
Absolutely. Lian doing an expect at the end there. Looked great.
Pretty quick 25-minute game here as the Kung Fu Pandas coming out strong, having a pretty dominant win in that last game, and really this looked like a team effort in terms of the damage charts. Everybody was pretty even. Gotta give credit to Elsa from Frozen as they did the most damage on the team, and really after Renekton got so far ahead early, were able to kind of keep it close.
Yeah, both games with Elsa from Frozen really trying to hold on. And on this Urgot, Elsa from Frozen looked really good in both games. It just wasn't enough to be able to get over the hump of Kung Fu Panda's team and their just absolute dominance in both of these games. They looked incredible.
Yeah, unfortunately for Villa Enders and Mischief, they did not really have their best games. I like the idea of taking away the Vayne from Razor Leaf, who is a Vayne main, but it's very difficult to play that champion. This is a very high mechanically intensive champion. And when when you're first picking it, like that's super dangerous, right? Because take a look at their team and how good that team is at killing a Vayne. Like it was incredibly good.
Yeah, and a lot of the focus early game was in the bot side. I think during the game we saw at least 8 teleports on 2 different occasions to bot lane.
It was a
Uh,
drastic difference from the last game where it seemed like there was really no ganks going on and all lane kills. It was just everybody showing up and making their presence known. Gone had a rough showing against Not Important. Lost a lot of smite fights, especially for crabs, and Not Important really just able to take control of the game and the map through those crabs. This team now improving to 3-2, the Kung Fu Pandas. I see that they're a little inconsistent so far through 5 weeks. They're 3-2, but I mean, this team is definitely good enough to win some games, and I'm interested to see if they will be able to get into the playoffs.
yeah, and I think Kung Fu Pandas, they had the roster changes, correct?
Yeah, they've had a lot of swaps and everything, and they've had, top laners playing support and supports playing mid, stuff like that. I mean, even I think the last time I casted them, they had a couple of swaps as well. So it looks like the roster is very deep in terms of what they can and can't play.
Yeah, I like that flexibility from them and being able to put the right person in the right situation for what comp they want to build. And it's
And
that flexibility that lets them build these very different looking comps from game 1 and game 2, getting out both wins.
and as for Infinite, I think they got a lot of work to do. They got to go to the drawing board because it's pretty rough when your battery of your jungle mid 80 carry. They went 3-18-7 this past game and did not look particularly strong in the first game as well. I don't know, man. I feel like they got to go to the drawing board. They got to hit up the practice tool. They got to hit up solo queue. Because now you're 1-3. You've got a rescheduled game coming up, obviously. But I mean, at this point, it's still early in the season. But it's they have to be must-win games at this point when you're 1-3. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Some big changes has to come through for Infinite for them to be able to start pulling out these wins. Either priorities, picks maybe. Their drafting could be better. But their drafting, honestly, I didn't think was that awful. It's just how they played their drafting, and they're drafting to their strengths, which they
Yeah.
are not doing.
Yeah. I thought it was in terms of drafting strategically, it was fine. The issue is, they opted to say, okay, well, we're gonna ban out the Lulu, prevent them from taking the Kog'Maw. But then they, instead of like banning the Vayne or something, they went to go first pick it, right? And I don't necessarily know if that's playing to their strengths. So in terms of bans, it's totally fine to, snipe away champions you don't want to see. But in terms of picks, you'd rather pick something that you like a little bit more. So, if there was a champion on the other side, it's like, hey, we don't want them playing X champion, but we're really good at that champion. We'll pick them instead, as opposed to going, okay, well, their strongest champion is Vayne. And it's like, yeah, you can play Vayne to a certain extent or even play Vayne just fine. But, putting yourself really behind the eight ball to start the game, being the first pick, being the focal point of the team, and just saying, "Okay, guys, I hope you don't pick against me," and that's exactly what happened here. The Kung Fu Pandas just really determining how they were going to win the game and pick the champions that they wanted to have. That enabled them.
Yeah, and Yao Infinite just on uncomfortable picks, which led him to this 0-2.
Quite unfortunate for them, but still plenty of games to go. They have 6 games, I think, left in the season. So we will have to see how that shakes out for them. But really, at this point, games are becoming must wins. They might have to go 5-1 the rest of the way to make playoffs. But we will see as the rest of the season shakes out, as we got some weekly games, come on every weekend, as we do have games tomorrow, I believe, is there's some more games tomorrow. We have, it is Premade Dominate Week 5. That'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Optimize will be your streamer, along with your casters, Redtail and Pwn Star Shibby. The feeder and the jungler, Pwn Star Shibby. Yes, Shibby, you int in all of my games, but I still love you, though. Want to give a big shout out to Grievance today for the stream. A little bit of technical difficulties, but settled in quite nicely. Zane, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed your Risen debut, and I hope I see you more in the future.
Yeah, I had a great time. It was a pleasure casting with you.
Thank you very much. I'm always glad to hear that. Well, from Zane, Yanni, Grievance, and the rest of the Risen family, we hope you have a great night. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for Premade Dominate Week 5.